Goes out the window.
Does it annoy you that you're named after that great man and he's in his corner for this?
Strictly business. He's getting the bag in it, so
Tyson, just a response to people like Bellew saying this is a freak show and other people saying it's just for money.
Haters gonna hate, bitches gonna hate.
First of many.
They'll use the bitch, and so was Carl Froch. There you go,
what did you make of?
After demeaningly mistreating John Fury in a live session, Tyson Fury has now finally taken aim at Carl Froch.
I'll eat Froch alive and I'll eat Bellew alive. You want to come and see me? I'm here, and I'm ready, and I'm stepping back from no man, no matter who they.
The heavyweight champion has set up a rematch with Usyk, but he must give Carl some time to heal, and he did it with extreme brutality.
The Usyk fight didn't happen. You're fighting Ngannou instead of Usyk. You should be defending your title, really. You've got an obligation to the sport of heavyweight boxing as a champion. How long have you got left in the game? What, you got 2-3 more fights?
After losing to Alexander Usyk for the undisputed world heavyweight title, Tyson Fury is back. This time, though, he's going to fight again. This time, verbally, against Carl, a longtime rival of the Fury family. Fury hasn't promised to be defeated, so this is just a verbal exchange. It's expected, though, that this feud with Carl Froch won't take away from his training for the rematch in October, as Bob Arum has just confirmed the bout. Essentially, Mike Tyson's former sparring partner and friend, Joe Egan, had complained about Tyson Fury being too distracted before the fight, questioning Fury's sincerity before the fight and highlighting instances in which the Gypsy King was.
It was a close fight, but it was only 50% of Tyson Fury. He wasn't fit for that fight, Carl. I don't care what anybody says. He was thinner, they were saying his weight was great. He wasn't fit. He didn't prepare properly for that.
Although it was a close bout, Tyson Fury had the upper hand. Carl was unprepared for that altercation. It doesn't matter what people think. They said that despite his excellent weight, he was unfit and had not adequately trained for the bout. He said it again because he was unable to stop talking about Tyson Fury's lack of preparation. An old proverb states that if you don't prepare, you'll fail. After his training session ended, he was spotted in Dubai observing Francis and Joshua. It turns out that Joe Egan had been watching Tyson Fury for 9 weeks prior to the fight. He continued by highlighting a number of crucial instances in which Tyson Fury showed how careless NS was in the lead-up to the bout. He's holding a press conference in Manchester without Usyk 7 weeks before to the fight. Usyk did not break camp, and 4 weeks prior to the fight, he was in Marup visiting his family, spending time with his kids, and doing other things. During a 12-week training camp, there are sacrifices that must be made, and he failed to make them. Being a YouTuber hasn't caused Mike Tyson to lose his camp. I don't think Tyson Fury took this fight seriously, but that is how serious he is about his battle with Jake Paul. I think he bought into the hype that he was taking his fight seriously, but he wasn't fit enough to maintain his brilliance, and he also had another distraction in the form of his father giving him instructions over Sugar Hill and Andy Lee, who had more boxing knowledge than he will ever have.
It was broke up, right? He was out in Dubai watching Ngannou and Joshua 9 weeks before the fight. 7 weeks before the fight, he's doing a press conference in Manchester without Usyk. Usyk didn't break.
He continued by drawing comparisons between Tyson Fury and his early boxing days, when he appeared more fit than he does now. The Tyson who defeated Klitschko 10 years ago in Germany was incredibly fit. The Tyson who defeated Deontay Wilder in the first fight was also extremely fit. However, the Tyson who defeated Francis and Wall wasn't fought in either fight, and it was the same type of fight. He wasn't 100% fit, but he still came close. You know, there are too many men in his camp who won't confront him and tell him that he needs to get back out on the roads like he used to. Tyson is an incredible fighter who can fight. In the 12th round against Wilder, he was knocked down, got back up, and was able to dance around.
He's doing a press conference in Manchester without Usyk. Usyk didn't break his camp. Then 4 weeks before the fight, he's out visiting his family in Morecambe, seeing his children and stuff. Now, you were the ultimate.
Even though the new undisputed world heavyweight champion has some positive news and a rematch with Alexander Usyk planned, Tyson Fury has gotten himself into another bind that could cost him another fight against Usyk in October. This time, he attacked Carl Foster following their numerous previous exchanges over the latter's disrespect for Fury's father, John Fury, during an Instagram live session. We'll talk more about that later in the video.
And terrible that people will be watching this fight, the biggest fight in years, and there'll be young kids and people trying to get into the sport and the attention it's bringing to boxing. You've got John Fury, the big idiot.
And really, when you think of it, John Fury seems one of the worthiest people on earth for every form of disrespect. The headbutt of Alexander Usyk team member, the repeated hitting of a glass separating him, and KSI, the overturning of the press announce table at Tommy Fury's press conference with Jake Paul, the open challenge against Mike Tyson, and many other instances are reasons why even the least boxer would feel accomplished to sit John Fury down and finish him off with scathing statements. And that was exactly what Carl Froch did. He confronted John Fury and mocked him for Tyson's loss against Alexander Usyk. But not just that, he went ahead to blame John for Tyson's loss, claiming John Fury was responsible for the chaos in Tyson's corner on the night. Froch had told him during the live session that he was a destructive father, saying anyone should be ashamed to have a father like you. That's so embarrassing. You literally ruined your son. He lost because you always want to steal the show, and you've done it by doing the most embarrassing thing possible. You headbutt your opposing team and shouted over your son till he lost. Don't even come for me, you'll regret it. Froch then quit after John Fury said had no business with what happened in the corner and that he should get ready for some serious beating. You won't survive it, old man. You'd be on the ground before I raise a finger, Carl said. And now Tyson Fury is apparently back, ready to take revenge on his father's behalf. Carl's question on whether his father had ever had a father figure received harsh criticism from him. You're a complete moron, Carl, and I don't blame you. That is not how you approach my father. Please don't disregard mine if you don't have one. I'll murder you if you don't recognize your boundaries and don't cross them. Carl was also made fun of by him for saying he would fight John Fury for charity. Ignore my dad and go meet him. Leave him alone. Let's confront Francis in the ring. In response to criticism of his plan to fight boxing rookie Francis in a 10-round non-title match on October 28 in the Saudi capital of Riyadh, Tyson Fury, the former heavyweight champion of the World Boxing Council, struck back. Carl Froch and Tony Bellew, two retired former world champions, were particularly vocal about their dismay and Fury's decision. Their comments ruffled the feathers of the self-styled Gypsy King. Prior to the fight, it was clear that the 35-year-old Brit was eschewing a bout against the former World Boxing Association and International Boxing Federation heavyweight champion and now undisputed world heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk in favor of the big money bout against former Ultimate Fighting Championship heavyweight champion Francis. Take a look at these fucking balls. Fools, lick them. Fury said that Bell and Froch were clearly harmed by the fact that they received no financial gain from the game. I can't tell you right now, but I just signed the biggest deal in boxing history. They're like all these suckers in the media who bring up Tyson Fury in an attempt to generate some clickbait. But boxing wouldn't exist without me. I was the game's operator. Fury was reprimanded by Froch for disparaging the game and its supporters. Speaking about money is anything but sophisticated. Tony and I have done fairly well. We've left the sport in fine physical and mental shape, with no debt, and with our health intact. Frost on battling, he remarked on his YouTube page. He went on, I'm an average fighter. At that point, your resume and mine don't compare. It simply doesn't. You have 4 victories in a truly appalling fight against Deontay Wilder, having defeated former cruiserweight champion Vladimir Klitschko and world champion Steve Cunningham. You have 11 victories against world champions on 3 occasions. Lennox Lewis has what? You can have as much cash as you like in your wallet. I'll tell you that. You show up for the Hall of Fame party the next year, and since you don't belong there with that CV dress, you won't be dining at the top table with any of my peers. But I also said that Tyson Fury should mind his own business and focus on actual battles. You ought to be fighting other champions and protecting your title. What is the duration of your gameplay? 2 more altercations. Taking these crossover battles is a waste of time. The supporters are turning against you because you're murdering them off. It hurts to see in your heart. I think you know you're hurting the sport. Get in that ring with a real fighter like Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua. Fury first became world champion 8 years ago when he dethroned World Boxing Association World Boxing Organization and International Boxing Federation champion Vladimir Klitschko by unanimous decision in Germany. In a slow-paced fight with a low punch output in the wake of the victory, he announced his retirement and didn't box again for over a year and a half. His second title run began in February 2020 when he annexed the World Boxing Council belt from Deontay Wilder in their rematch by 7th-round knockout in Las Vegas. He then defended the title 3 times with knockout victories over Wilder, Dillian Whyte, and Derek Chisora before losing to Oleksandr Usyk in a bout that would have seen him become the first undisputed world heavyweight champion. Should he have emerged victorious, however, he's been giving another shot at that just recently, with everything now set for Tyson Fury to get his second chance at cementing his name in history books as one of the all-time greats and the less than 30 undisputed world heavyweight champions in history necessarily. Top-Rank CEO Bob Arum reports that Tyson Fury has officially triggered a rematch clause to face Oleksandr Usyk. That completed it. I adored it. What will happen to Tyson Fury next? There is a rematch clause, and Tyson has chosen to fight and use the rematch scores. Last Saturday, Fury was upset by the Ukrainians in a split decision. Triumph to become the first fighter to unify the belts since Lennox Lewis defeated Evander Holyfield in 1999. However, despite Usyk's incredible performance to add the World Boxing Council belt to his collection, which already included the World Boxing Association and International Boxing Federation titles, the politics of boxing and actions of its sanctioning bodies nearly saw Usyk give up his International Boxing Federation title in less than 2 weeks. Each sanctioning body has a mandatory challenger for its respective belt with a rotation system that dictates which belt is defended first. The most recent mandatory challenger for the International Boxing Federation is Filip Hrgovic, who has long been the next in line for a shot at the world title. However, Hrgovic was not prepared to wait for a rematch. Hrgovic has been the top heavyweight contender since defeating Gael Jung in August 2022. The Croatian will compete next weekend against Daniel Dubois of England in the Macroom against Queensberry 5v5. I love that about Oleksandr Usyk. He's a man of God, deeply religious, and proud of it. I just don't think he should ever put on a pair of boxing gloves again in his life after what he accomplished as an amateur as a cruiserweight. Originally, Oleksandr Usyk was scheduled to face Daniel Dubois for the title in June, with the winner expected to face Anthony Joshua in September. However, the International Boxing Federation did not enforce their mandatory title defense. According to Rafael, the choice is based on the terms of the Fury vs. Usyk bout deal. On June 1st, Hrgovic is set to battle Dubois, with the suddenly vacant title anticipated to be at stake. At first, it meant that Usyk would have a very brief reign as the undisputed king, because should their rematch take place later this year, only 3 belts would be at stake. Usyk, who was next in line should it proceed, was strapped by the World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization. Usyk, who moved up to heavyweight from cruiserweight and held the titles of undisputed cruiserweight champion before, is also the proud owner of the belts from Ring Magazine and the World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization. He will now face Fury in a pre-arranged rematch in October, which is anticipated to be another competitive battle. But it's official that Oleksandr Usyk won't be losing his belt anymore because of his appeal. Yes, without a doubt. As you know, we return and get some rest. Talk about the fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. Carl Froch said that with this in mind, if President Daryl Peoples confirmed that Usyk officially requested an exception to keep his International Boxing Federation heavyweight world title for a Fury rematch rather than being stripped for failing to face his mandatory challenger. We spend some time with our families and we get it back on in October. There is a rematch clause. Do we do a rematch again straight away? Yes, if hence he remains the undisputed world heavyweight champion till at least October, when he locks horns against Tyson Fury in the squared circle. Now that Arum has verified that Fury has triggered a rematch clause with his Ukrainian opponent, but things became even more problematic when Fury's eye injury forced the fight to a later date and advanced the fight between the two. After defeating Anthony Joshua on points in September 2021, Usyk went on to win the World Boxing Association, World Boxing Federation, and World Boxing Organization titles. A year later, he faced the British fighter again and won the titles once again. Herovic defeated Zhang that same evening to become the required challenger. The 37-year-old now wants to continue winning all 4 titles in order to defend against the Gypsy King when they square off later this year. In the meanwhile, Fury, who lost last Saturday, has been banned from boxing for 1 week. It has come to light that he received a fairly insignificant 1-week medical suspension from the UAA Boxing Commission, meaning he was not permitted to compete until this next weekend. That has nothing to do with his rematch, which he intends to enter in the best shape possible. However, until then, rumors about Alexander Usyk's victory over Tyson Fury, which led to his declaration as the new undisputed world heavyweight champion, will continue to circulate. Surprisingly, Carl Froch had anticipated this outcome and had even predicted the fight in favor of Alexander Usyk. The World Boxing Council title was held by Carl Froch twice between 2008 and 2011. The International Boxing Federation title was held by him from 2012 to 2015, and the World Boxing Association title was held by him from 2013 to 2015. What is Usyk? Carl inquired. He is currently 37 years old and is slowing down, but he still has the capacity to win a few close rounds and acknowledge that he suffered in one of them. He returns to his corner and then simply